Okay, welcome to my pajama day. I wasn't going to make a video, but now I was going to keep texting little clips to my daughter so it would go, the video clip of showing her how to make something would show up, because if it's over a minute or whatever, then you can't send it in a text or some craziness. So I decided I'm gonna do a full-fledged video and just post it to the YouTube channel and then send her the link to that, because it was just too much. But she was asking to try something different. She wanted to try mussels because she remembered I had made those before, now that she's out and on her own. And so I was just trying to show her step by step how much or how little, and just kind of winging it is how I cook. So I wanted to just give her an idea of how she can cook it, but this was just what I did. So I'm just turning it into a whole video. So welcome to my pajama morning. This is raw. I don't have any fancy makeup or wonderful lighting and all that. So enjoy. My son is not with me because this is the Mejias Mama and Son page usually. But he is busy with that virtual learning, and he's in a wildlife classroom right now, learning about snakes that eat other venomous snakes and other kinds of crazy. So I hope you enjoy this. It just is a quick, simple idea for any kind of quick dish. It's semi-healthy. Depends on how you look at it, or if you want to add vegetables or whatever, it's an option. Snap peas or snow pea pods, I think, would look really pretty yummy in this, or some asparagus. It's just up to you what you want to add to your stuff. But this is a base, simple, quick, fast thing to do with whatever's left in your fridge, and some stuff that might be crammed way back in the freezer. And mussels are really, really cheap. So, and they come with great flavors. So enjoy this crazy, psycho, quick edited video. I don't even know how it's gonna turn out, but let's get started. Take your frozen mussels, and I poke 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or so holes, okay, to ventilate it. Pop it in here, whatever your box says, but I think it was 5 minutes. So, voila. Then after 5 minutes, you take it out, man. And I see all that juice. We're gonna put that in this big old bowl. So you cut that off and you pour it in the bowl. See? Then you want to get these little buggers out of there. So they're super hot. You wait till they cool off and you can pull them out. Now, here's the thing. You can do it with a skewer. They can sometimes grab them easier than a fork, but if you don't have a skewer, honestly, this takes forever. So I'm gonna just throw it in the pan, or you could put it on a plate or whatever, just to separate the two. And actually, what I try to do is do this by the garbage can. So 1 second. Okay, I got the garbage can now. So let's see, there, I can see you now. Take that little bugger. Just remember what you're doing, and you throw this in the trash. Don't throw this in the trash. Here's a fine example. This little bad boy, he didn't open up. Naughty, naughty. Do not eat this. Do not cram it. Try to pry it open so that you can get the little bugger out of there. If they don't open, there's something wrong with them. They're not good to eat. So bye-bye, birdie. This will drive you nuts, so I just do it with my finger. But if you can't handle touching them, keep using a skewer or a fork. But to me, that takes way too long. And this little guy, he's gone. Because either A, I pulled him out already and threw him in the wrong spot, or B, he fell out and he's in my juice. Or C, there wasn't anything in him and some other bird got him or something, because he's broke. But I think I did that. So, there's C now. These little guys got some seaweed stuff stuck to them. You're gonna find all kinds of crazy stuff in your juice. So look through your juice. But yeah, just pull it out. It's easier in your bowl, in your thing. Okay, for some crazy reason, I did not get a lot because the last, I think like 7 of them didn't open. So maybe I should have cooked them longer in my bag. It's hard to say. I don't remember what the box instructions were because I threw the box out because we used to eat these more frequently, or they're just old. But I got this many, so that's okay. All right, the other reason, if I didn't say it before, that you use a skewer instead of a fork if you really just cannot handle the sensation of touching them is because this can tend to grab it a little bit stronger or better. Just depends on how much you do or do not want to touch the mussel. But as you've seen with my fingers, towards the end, I was totally fine. When you are done, you should have some juice. Make sure that when you're looking through your juice, you don't see pieces left over. There's always gonna be a piece that's cracked or broken. So double check that before, otherwise you're gonna be fishing it out of your food. And you don't want that, or you don't wanna bite into that tiny little piece. So double check your liquid and really make sure it's not too hot, obviously. Let that bugger cool because you will burn your fingers. And that there's no more pieces left. Or in this case, still attached to one of your mussels. I couldn't remember if I said 1 or 2 tablespoons, but 2 tablespoons might be too much because I'm making a small batch. If you're making a big batch, obviously. So I've got 1 on standby, and we're just gonna plop 1 in the pot. Or I'm sorry, in the pan. But we'll keep this one on standby just in case. Okay, let me see if I can turn this so you can see. Well, not even, okay. I don't have my cloth. So, let me just grab a paper towel. Okay, so you drizzle a little bit of olive oil on top of that. I'll show you what this looks like in a minute, but you want some base on it and you want some salt, seasoned salt, because I'm gonna show you what I'm gonna do next in a minute. If you can get the frozen fresh shrimp, then that's the best ones to use. They're usually gray, and there's several different sizes, small, medium, large. Some are pink. These are leftover shrimp cocktail. You can totally use these, but it's up to you. I like to use the fresh stuff if possible because the fresh stuff doesn't have it cooked twice. Then you can only cook it once, and it works better for this, but I got this leftover, so we're just gonna pop it in here for a few seconds. Also, you want to take off their tails. And in order to take off their tails, you just pinch them, okay? They're a lot easier to do now that they're cooked. Once they're raw, it's harder to do, but you can still do it. Okay, here's my pan. I've drizzled olive oil on top, and I put some salt as well. And then you just pop these guys and just throw them in there because you want to saute or heat these up a little bit, okay? And I'll show you what and how you cook them. If they were the gray, then and you always do like high heat, it gets done really quick. I'm not a professional chef, so I don't know, those probably tell you something different, but this will work. Also, I forgot, I add a little bit of garlic salt. You can do fresh garlic, but it's not garlic salt, pardon me, it's garlic powder. And then you've got your parsley, looks a little pretty. And then a squirt. Now, if you notice, I didn't cut that thing in half. I just am having a little squirt. Also, this one doesn't seem to have many seeds, but the seeds, there's less of them on the butt ends. So I just squirt a little at the time, but not too much. Save the rest of that squeezing to do after we add our pasta. So basically, you've got this, you got some of your mussels, but I wouldn't add these in at the moment because we pulled them out. I'm gonna just focus on this because if it's gray, this is what you wanna do. You're gonna wait until, I don't know if you can hear it in the video. And I went over a minute, so I don't know if that one will send via text, so I might make a video. But you essentially, you know, saute and move this stuff around. But if these were cooking on this side and they're gray, as soon as you start to see them pink, you would literally just flip them over, okay? That's all you would do. And you want to flip them over anyway, because flipping them over gets them evenly coated with that salt, butter, olive oil mixture, okay? You will also see them start to curl just a hair. Once they start curling, get them off your heat. And now you have this happy little butter, lemon, olive oil mixture with seasoning. So this is now that I took them off the heat, I put them all together because they're all gonna get mixed in anyway. So now you've got that. You grab some of your cold leftover pasta. I cooked this yesterday. Actually, my daughter cooked this. You wanna put some of the pasta in the pan, in that lovely butter mixture. And you're just gonna put that back on the heat for a minute, and you're gonna toss it around so it looks nice and pretty and evenly coated. If it needs more butter or olive oil or seasoning at this point is when you wanna do that. And this is again where you would take the rest of that lemon and you would squeeze it on top of that to get that nice flavor in those noodles. And again, I took it off when it's crispy and crunchy and making all that noise. I don't want to overburn this. You could turn your heat down, but I'm on an electric burner. I'm not a gas. If you have gas, you can turn your flame down and it gets it down really fast. But I'm on electric burner, so I just pull it off for a minute and then I put it back on. That's just the way I do it. I don't know how you want to do yours, but then once you've got them evenly coated and nice and flavorful the way you like them, you add these guys right back into the pot. And then you mix and incorporate those evenly as best you can, or if at that point you want to add more seasonings or flavorings, you can do that too. Okay, I did turn the heat off. It's still on there a little bit. I did add a little more parsley because it looked better. But also, if you remember, you have leftover juice. So if you want a little more liquid, pour a little more liquid. Only pour as much liquid as you want in your pasta because you've got a lot of liquid left. So only pour what you want in there. If you want to pour the whole thing in there and add more pasta, go for it. These guys don't particularly care for it too liquidy, but 'cause I'm allergic to this, so I can't eat it. I miss it, but whatever. It sure does smell good. Okay, and here is the final thing that is plated. I added a little Parmesan cheese and a couple lemon wedges if you want a breadstick or something, but if you're not looking for carbs because you've already got plenty with this, then omit the bread. But that's about what it looks like when you plate it. So a nice healthy thing. The other thing I was gonna mention is if you're watching salt intake, you can do unsalted butter. And the other thing is if you don't have lemon, you can use the lemon juice. As far as parm, you can get it in a bag. You can do the old-fashioned jar business, or you can get a fancy container of it. But that's it, ultimately. I don't know what you call it, some shrimp pasta thingy with some mussels, but it is something quick and it's easy. Enjoy. And that's all you have to it. The only thing I would include on this that I wasn't even thinking about is that this plates up really nice if you're gonna get it for lunch, say. At work you could take it, or for dinner the following night if you're really busy or something. I've plated one for my daughter and I put little notes on them, and one for my husband because we sometimes cross paths and she eats a little less than he does. Otherwise they'll take the wrong plate and they'll be like, that was too much. Or I'm very accommodating and helpful because that's what moms do. But they could certainly do this on their own. And my daughter, in fact, she's the one that made the pasta, as I stated earlier in the video. So anyway, I would not recommend eating this more than one day. So if you cook it today, make sure tomorrow at some point that you would eat it, or later that day. The fresher you can eat it, the better, because as food sits, that's another thing people don't understand that have sometimes sensitivities or allergies or reactions and they're like, what happened? I was fine when I ate it before. Sometimes what happens is you want to get this in the refrigerator as soon as possible, because as stuff sits out, histamine levels rise. And for sure, seafood, shrimps, spinach, tomatoes, those are high histamine foods. So the sooner you get them into the fridge, the better. Leftovers, you do, if you can at all, if you do have a histamine issue, you want to put them in the freezer and then reheat them slowly at 50%. A lot of times people don't realize that meat can become toxic if you heat it on high and toxins are released. So, and I read that in several different places. You know, I'm not a scientist, but I do notice that there is a difference in the way that I have and prepare leftovers in my own personal body. So whatever works for you, if you're fine with it, go for it, whatever. But if you do notice that you do have sensitivities of any kind, that's something to think about. Go ahead and put everything in the freezer and then reheat it slowly on the defrost, and then at 50%. Do not, and you can go on the internet and I'm sure you'll find all kinds of other research about what I'm saying, but everybody's got an opinion. Do what works best for you and try to enjoy something light and healthy and fast and easy. So thanks, and see you in another video. I don't know, I don't post a lot on this channel, but whatever. If you like it and you want me to do more, I'm happy to do more. Next time, have my son join me when he's not in class, because he likes to help out sometimes too. All right, thanks. See ya.